Speed 85 WPM. Be ready. 5 seconds. Madam Speaker, a budget is not just numbers in the form of estimates of receipts and expenditure. More importantly, it involves policy pronouncements and defining goals along with a credible roadmap to achieve the goals. The choice before me was either just to keep the system dragging or build a new, safe, and modern passenger and freight transportation system which would contribute at least 2 to 2.5% to the GDP of the nation as against less than 1% at present and provide much needed employment opportunity to our people. I am glad to inform this august house through you, madam, that I have chosen the latter. With this, Indian Railways would become an even more powerful engine of growth for the national economy. This would require a multi pronged approach. There cannot be a more opportune moment to formulate a long term plan now that we are at the threshold of finalizing the 12th 5-year plan. My budget therefore looks at a time horizon much beyond a single year as I intend to follow a carefully thought out plan for at least 5 years within the overall perspective of Vision 2020. The budget for 2012-13 would be a link in the chain and would seamlessly integrate with the 12th plan and Vision 2020 document of Mamata Banerjee. Madam Speaker, after taking into account the spoken and written words of experts and people who understand railways reports of Kakodkar and Pitroda committees and within the overall parameters set out in Vision 2020 document, I realize that a huge sum of rupees 14 lakh crore is required in the next 10 years. Given the serious constraint of funds even to meet the day-to-day operational expenditure, I have a Himalayan task of running the Indian Railways safety. I had two very clear yet contrasting options, either to keep the railways in status quo mode with just incremental annual changes, or as the phrase goes, bite the bullet. The second option would involve going for a generational change with a focus on safety and inclusive growth to meet the aspirations of this great country in the next decade. Madam Speaker, with a view to understanding the real aspirations of the people, I have visited several states along with my board members, starting with the far flung state of Nagaland in the northeast to Kerala in the south, Maharashtra in the west, and Chhattisgarh in center, besides Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, etc. I interacted with the chief ministers and the members of both houses of parliament from those states cutting across party lines. I believe that perhaps there is not a single member of parliament with whom I did not have the privilege to interact. I am grateful to all the honorable members and the chief ministers whom I met collectively and also individually, and from whom I have truly learned a lot about the aspirations of the common man. Madam Speaker, I, as a member of parliament, do understand and realize the expectations of people of the constituencies which each member represents. All their demands are genuine aspirations. I am glad to state that in this budget I have tried to provide something to meet the aspirations of the people across the length and breadth of the country, and to meet these demands within the valuable resources. I am sure when the members go through the annexes which are appended at the end of my budget speech, they will appreciate that I have made sincere efforts. I also have a clearer perspective of what railways mean to the common man and how the railways have been a true catalyst of integration. Just as we cannot imagine India without Himalayas, we cannot imagine India without the holy river Ganga. Similarly, we cannot imagine India without Indian railways. The railways are the symbol and substance of India's unity. Railways have their wheels on earth, not in the sky or just urban streets. If we do not strengthen Indian railways, we weaken our country. That is why I truly believe that it is the collective responsibility of Parliament to make Indian railways into a sparkling service amongst the best in the world. This means national investment. So the time has come to think of a national policy for railways just as we have one for defense and for external affairs.